Look, TJ Watt, is he worth the money? Ooh, that is the dying question. He'll be 31 in October. Is he worth the money? So let's talk about it. First off, what is the money? 3 years, 123, $108 million guaranteed. $41 million a year. He's the highest paid non-quarterback in the history of the National Football League. Okay. Now, the one thing about that is that we're seeing it a little bit in Dallas. Now, is it Dallas? Is that just Jerry Jones? Is the deal going to get done with Micah Parsons? Are teams going to start shying away from paying these pass rushers this absorbent amount of money when, quite frankly, they don't do, I mean, they can affect a football game, but they can be neutralized. Like teams can, and we've seen it with TJ when teams just say, you are not going to affect this game. We're going to put a tight end over there with the tackle. We're going to chip you. We are not going to let you beat us. We saw that last year several times early on in the season before TJ ended up getting hurt. We saw teams do that. We saw them just say, you're not going to affect this football game. So our team's going to start getting away from that. Now, here's the argument against TJ. No playoff wins. Okay. And 4 games, he's got 6 solo tackles to assisted and 1 sack and a fumble recovery. I mean, what? That's not good numbers. That is not good numbers. Now, again, I just mentioned that teams can take him away, and when he gets in the playoffs, teams are going to try to take you away. Well, there was last year, and the Ravens really didn't do that. The Ravens basically said, we're just going to block you. And if you make a play, you make a play. And now, granted, TJ was hurt. And for people that say that he's not, you're lying to yourself. Yes, he was absolutely hurt. But you know my motto. You know my motto. I understand if you're hurt, we're not going to get your best, but damn it, we shouldn't get your worst. No stats in the game. No stats. I mean, isn't that your worst? They don't chip you. They don't double team you. They don't triple team you. And so you get all this one-on-one blocking, and you have no stats in the football game. Eh, eh. I got to believe that's your worst. There's your argument against TJ is that he doesn't affect winning in the playoffs, or at least he hasn't affected winning in the playoffs. I'm not sure that's fair, though, to be honest, to ask your edge rusher. For one, he doesn't control the offense. You know, he doesn't even control the defense. He tries to make as many plays as he can, but it's $41 million. And I would bet you for every Steeler fan out there, if he didn't get paid and say, you know what, we're going to keep your salary till the playoffs, and then you got to show up in the playoffs. Now, granted, that's not fair. I understand how it all works. But Steeler fans would be like, yeah, let's make him show up in the playoffs and see if he can do something. Then we'll be more than happy to give him the money. That's where the Steeler fans, myself included, we get a little sideways. It's like, man, this regular season and all this Mr. October stuff is fine, and we love it. Be Mr. December. Be Mr. January. That's where we need you to be that guy. You can't get worn down. Now, him getting worn down is a product of bad complimentary football from the Pittsburgh Steelers over the last couple of years, because when your offense can't do anything and you're on the field a lot, that's a problem. He also missed a playoff game a couple years ago in Buffalo, got hurt. Now, TJ's not, I mean, some people say he's injury prone. I wouldn't say he's injury prone. I think he's been hurt a few times, but it's football. Guys get hurt. It happens. It happens. I mean, he's missed 11, what is it, 11 games in 8 years? That's not that many, ladies and gentlemen. And the majority of it was from one injury, which he ended up coming back from. Now, you look at him, I mean, the argument for the Steelers are 1-10 without him. So it's proven that they don't win football games when he isn't playing. That has been proven. So as much as we say he doesn't show up here or there, the Steelers don't show up when he isn't out there. So that's just a fact. You can't refute it. You can't, you can't deny it. He's a Hall of Famer. He's got 108 sacks in his first 8 years. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He's going to go down as one of the better Pittsburgh Steelers, not the best. Not going to hear me say that, but one of the better Pittsburgh Steelers ever. Again, facts. But he's only had 2 seasons that he hasn't had double-digit sacks. That's including last year when he was basically hurt the last 5 games and couldn't perform at peak level. And he was in the discussion last year before the injury. He was the odds-on favorite for Defensive Player of the Year. It was like minus 250. The next guy was plus 900, which is crazy. I mean, he was winning that thing. And then he got injured and couldn't perform at his highest level. And some of you would say, myself included, at no level at all. Okay. Will the success continue? I mentioned earlier that he's 31 years old. Well, here's what I would say. He's the opposite of Steelers Almighty, of what we say about guys getting paid. We always say the year before contract, guys are outstanding. The year they get paid, they get fat and happy, and they let their foot off the gas. TJ Watt's the exact opposite, or at least in the past, he's been the exact opposite. Man got paid, set the sack record that year. So, I mean, that's all we can go by. It's all we can go by. Man got paid, sets the sack record. So maybe that'll be the same thing this year. I think he's pretty motivated. I think he understands that, this is his last big contract. I think he understands that. And it's time to get it done, especially on this defense. This better be a top 5 defense, by the way, but we'll talk about that later. But what do we think about TJ Watt? Is he worth the money? It's an interesting conversation. This is going to be an interesting poll question. Let's go to the poll. TJ Watt. What do you expect from TJ Watt as he approaches 31 years old? A, maintain a Hall of Fame trajectory and continue to dominate. B, remain effective, but will start to decline. C, he'll struggle with age and injuries. And D, Steelers need to draft his replacement in 2026. They may need to do that anyway, even if he's still dominant in 2026. That's 2 years from now. Or I guess next year. Yeah, I guess it is next year. Lord have mercy. They may need to do that anyway. Not sure Jack Sawyer's that guy yet. Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Either way, put a 2 in front of your answer so we know exactly what poll question you're answering. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the halftime. Again, I want to thank all of you out there for always tuning in, being lively in the chats, subscribing, members. We appreciate all of that stuff and how you guys always support the channel, man. We absolutely appreciate it. Remember, if you want to become a member and still support Steve Almighty, you know how to do that. You got to click on the link. 5 different levels. Again, we're streaming all the Steeler games this year. So for Hall of Fame members. So if you want to be a part of the live stream during games and the watch party, make sure that you guys sign up to be a member at the Hall of Fame level. We're also doing our all 22s throughout the season that we are going to have for our members. So at the Hall of Fame or at the All Pro level or higher. So make sure you guys are signed up. We appreciate you. Also, something else that we are coming out with, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a Survivor's Pick contest. Yes, a Survivor Pick contest. You're going to pick all Steeler games, and whoever, I think if you guys know how Survivor works, whoever we're playing, first week 1, you either pick the Steelers or you pick the Jets. If you pick the Steelers and the Steelers win, you keep moving. If you pick the Steelers and the Steelers lose, you are out. 0 to enter, by the way. The prize, $250 of Steelers Almighty merch. You'll be able to go pick whatever you want, up to $250 worth of merch in our merch store, which is SteelersAlmightyShop.com. So the tiebreakers to all of this are going to be the number of points scored, or the average number of points scored for the season, and then the average points scored against. So you'll pick the games. You also pick what the score is going to be and an average all up. There's a link in the description for you guys to go and sign up. Everything is computerized, so it's not me sitting there or producer sitting there trying to scribble and all that stuff. It's all added up for you. It goes through the playoffs. So if the Steelers make the playoffs and they go to the Super Bowl, we'll be picking that too. So make sure you guys sign up because, again, doesn't cost you a thing and can get you $250 of Steelers Almighty merch if you are the winner. And there is only one winner. No participation trophies here at Steelers Almighty, people. No tiebreakers, no participation. Winner take all. So appreciate you guys, man. Let's move forward.